Hello friend, welcome back to another video with your man Gentleman, and today I'm skipping past Uncharted and Marry Me. I'm going straight into what's good this time, and that's Batman. If you all haven't watched it, go and watch it and then you can come back and listen to this review. Now, the Batman is directed by Matt Reeves. He is the director for Cloverfield and the Planet of the Apes movie. You have War for the Planet of the Apes and you have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So the Batman is not part of the DCEU universe. It's actually a standalone movie that has taken a more grounded approach. This focuses on Batman when he's just 2 years into being the Batman. He's not even the Batman yet. Like all the characters, right, he's calling him Vengeance. I think maybe it's because that's what he stood for, and it really focuses on him being the detective, solving crimes like the ones in the comics. And this doesn't even show the distinction between Batman and Bruce Wayne, but he's just trying to find out what he needs to do to really save the city. You have Colin Farrell as Penguin, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, you have Andy Serkis as Alfred, you have Paul Dano as the Riddler, you even have Jeffrey Wright as James Corden, and lastly you have John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. And I think this cast is just great. I think they casted all these characters really well. And I gotta say, I really love this version of Batman. It's so well done and I don't even know where to start. So basically this movie, right, is really dark, both literally and figuratively. I really like how this movie is shot. It's so well done. Every shot, right, it has such high production value. It's so well made, like the lighting, the colors, the cinematography. It's so good. It's so nice to look at. And the soundtrack is none other than Michael Giacchino. I tell you, the soundtrack is awesome. It's so simple but yet so impactful at the right time. The acting is so good. Like I just love Robert Pattinson as Batman. He just walks into the room. He doesn't have to say anything, but you already know what he's feeling and what he is thinking, that kind of thing. That just show how good of an acting it is. For me, the one I love the most is Colin Farrell and actually John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. They were the standout for me. Like Colin Farrell as the Penguin, right? He just loses himself inside. You don't even know that's Colin Farrell. And the best thing about this movie is the partnership between Batman and Gordon. I just love their relationship and just solving crimes together. Matt Reeves' direction is so good. Like you can see the confidence in each of the shots, and you can see each scene also is very important to the story. And it keeps everything so grounded. Like you can see all these characters in real life, and there's some levity to it as well in terms of their interactions, because you can't go throughout the whole movie all dark and intense, right? You have these moments where it brings us back to reality and catch a break from all the intense moments. This movie is so dark, gritty, intense and brutal as well. So I don't think this movie is for everyone, but this movie, it takes its time to tell the story. It's actually 3 hours long, so you may find some scene as slow and long, but if you see it as an overall movie, the pacing is actually consistent throughout. I don't think people would come to this movie and say, oh, I hate this movie a lot. I think in general, everybody would like this movie. So it's whether you like it or you love it. And personally, for me, I love it a lot. Anyway, I'm going into spoiler territory here. So just to talk a little bit more in detail of what happened in this movie. So just a warning for y'all that I'll be talking about spoilers. I like how the movie just starts off from the viewpoint of the Riddler rather than Batman. And then after that, you have Batman's voiceover that really brings you into a mood of the comics and makes you feel confident that this movie is gonna be good. And the best thing about this Batman is that he actually makes mistakes. He makes so much mistakes that he has to learn from it, and it's good to see that the characters are flawed. So you don't see it as a perfect person, but this Batman is flawed and also relatable to us as well. And I gotta say, the Riddler is actually quite terrifying. Paul Dano is just being Paul Dano. Especially when he turns up in the mayor office at the start of the movie. He gives me those Jigsaw vibes, you know what I mean? Like it has this 90s serial killer vibe, like Mindhunter. And I like how he thinks that he's working with the Batman, but actually he's not. And there's this scene in the jail scene, right, that he is talking like, hey, Bruce Wayne. I feel, right, at that moment, maybe he actually knows Batman's identity, but he chooses not to reveal to Batman that he knows his identity. So he just say like, oh, we didn't catch Bruce Wayne, but you know, we catch all of them, right? So I guess at that moment, Riddler is just playing a card to Batman and say that I know your identity, but it's okay. That scene in the prison is such a great scene. I think it's a callback to the scene where Batman and Joker was in the police station in The Dark Knight. It just shows like how Batman is always one step behind the Riddler. Like this movie, it doesn't show Batman as the best detective in Gotham, but he is becoming the best detective. Like, he as the detective, he's so always one step ahead of like James Corden and the police and all, but he's always one step behind the Riddler. It just shows that he is growing. For me, the only scene that really sticks out is that scene where Paul Dano is just complaining like, oh, you know, I'm so sad now, and he's talking to this fella in the prison, and that fella turns out to be Joker. That scene really sticks out. And for me, I didn't really understand why the Riddler wants to bomb the whole of Gotham just to trap the new elected mayor in that stadium and kill that mayor. I don't really understand that part, but it doesn't really take out from the whole experience. And lastly, I gotta talk about the Batmobile. The Batmobile, when it appears, oh my god, the sound design was so good. After that was the car scene, right? The car scene was so well done and so intense. I just love that car chasing scene. Anyway, I really love this Batman. I hope that you love this Batman too. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Spend this weekend and go and watch it. And if you have watched it already, do let me know in the comment section below of what you think of the movie, and actually let me know which Batman you like the most. Anyhow, do leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.